boys, I'm Luke and welcome to the Hypnos channel, the only YouTube channel that educates you on your Hull City Football Club. For more Hull City content, make sure to subscribe down below. And without further ado, let's hit the pitch. Alright boys, first off, I'd like to thank you guys so much for bringing my subscriber total up to 52 subscribers. That's 19 new subscribers from my last video. The growth has been insane, boys, and I'd like to thank you so much. Make sure to stay tuned because it's a wild journey on the Hypnos channel. Secondly, I'd like to thank my close friend Ryan for making the intro you guys just saw. I really appreciate it and I really like it. And the intro is going to be in this video and all my other future videos. I hope you guys like the intro as well. So without further ado, let's get into the Hull City versus Birmingham City match preview on June 27th. Alright, so the injuries for Birmingham City are to Mark Roberts and Evan Sunvich. Mark Roberts is one of their starting center backs, but he's also come on as a substitute, and he's kind of a rotating center back. He's got 28 appearances for the St. Andrews side, multiple in the starting 11, and multiple times he's come on as a substitute. Even Sunvich has 34 appearances for the St. Andrews side, and he is one of their starting midfielders. These two injuries aren't too big of blows to Birmingham City because their midfield's pretty solid with the highly touted sensational young midfielder Jude Bellingham in midfield, so their midfield's pretty alright, and Mark Roberts is one of the rotating center backs, so these injuries aren't too bad for Birmingham City. Alright, the returning players for your team and mine, Hull City, are Reece, Burke, and Leo de Silva Lopes. Reece Burke is 23 years old with 30 appearances, and he is normally our starting center back across from Jordy Device. Reece Burke is very good. He wasn't in the condition that he needed to be to make the game against Charlton Athletic, but with him in the back alongside Jordy Device, this defense will be even better than it was against Charlton because really the defense didn't concede any goals. George Long made a bad error in the back off a corner that basically gave away a goal to Pierce for Charlton Athletic. So with Reece Burke in the defense will be even better and it'll elevate our defense to a better standing. However, Angus McDonald filled in beautifully for Reece Burke. So our center backs are superb with Jordy Device, Reece Burke, and Angus McDonald. And who knows, if Reece Burke doesn't play too well, we might have a second center back battle between Angus McDonald and Reece Burke. But either way, our defense is getting better with the addition of Reece Burke. Next up, Leo de Silva Lopes comes back for the boys. Leo de Silva Lopes has 32 appearances, 21 years old, and he normally starts at center defensive mid. So for this game against Birmingham City, he will probably replace Daniel Batty, which would be great, honestly, because Batty played horrible against Charlton Athletic, a couple giveaways, and he just wasn't notable. He didn't do anything notable in that game against Charlton Athletic, which is a problem. However, Leo de Silva Lopes flat out makes our midfield better. He's a better player than Daniel Batty, and it'll show against Birmingham City. The also good thing about having Leo de Silva Lopes back is he's 21 years old, and we can continue to develop him steadily as he is one of Grant McCann's best signings from Wigan Athletic at $550,000. Grant McCann has gotten some heat on the players he's brought in. However, Leo de Silva Lopes is one person he definitely hit on. Lopez's stats aren't beautiful, but he's a young prospect and he'll continue to be in the starting 11 because he's a good player for the Hull City Tigers. All right. Next up on this match preview, our keys to victory are that Josh Magennis is pushing for a recall into the starting 11. Thank God. Rumors are he could be in the starting 11. He's been in better form than Tom Eaves, and he's had a good week of training. And everyone knows my thoughts on Tom Eaves, how he does not deserve to be our starting striker, And I don't know, that's one of my main issues with Grant McCann, lineup decisions regarding the striker position. Tom Eaves is not getting the job done for us, and he's one of the reasons we're in this relegation battle. So I hope Tom Eaves will make way for Josh Magennis in this game against Birmingham City. Josh Magennis is on much better form than Tom Eaves. However, in my video regarding the Hull City versus Charlton Athletic reaction plus analysis of the game, I talked about how Josh Magennis wasn't anything special, and that's true. He forced a couple good crosses for us, but the fact of the matter is he didn't get any shots on goal or any assists, so that was definitely a problem regarding Josh Magennis. However, like I've said before, no matter what he does, he has been on better form than Tom Eaves. Josh Magennis has been on better form than Tom Eaves. Tom Eaves is a problem at striker, and he hasn't done anything at all to prove me wrong. So I'm really excited, and I hope Josh Magennis is in the starting 11 against Birmingham City. And next up, Malik Wilks is available for selection again. This could potentially be his final game for Hull City if we don't pick up his loan to buy clause. And I've been adamant about this issue from the beginning. We have to pick up his loan to buy clause. Malik Wilks is my favorite player on Hull, and he's a great winger. He's a young winger, and I'm confident that he hasn't shown us his full potential. He's played good in the past 9 games with 3 goals and a couple assists, but he hasn't showed his true potential. And with Callum Grugitsky leaving and Jared Bowen leaving, our wingers, our left mid and right mid spots have been quite bare, but I truly believe Malik Wilks is on the level of Callum Grugitsky. Jared Bowen was on another level himself. I mean, 16 goals in 29 games is insane. So I'm not comparing Malik Wilks to Jared Bowen, but I'm confident he is just as good as Callum Grugitsky and much younger. And that is why we need to activate his loan to buy clause. And the loanee from Barnsley could be with the Hull City Tigers permanently. I pray he is. And he'll definitely be a difference maker in this game against Birmingham City. We have to score first, and Malik Wilks or Josh Magennis are 2 of the players most likely in the starting 11 who can score first. All right, touching on the importance of scoring first is the fact of the matter is that is crucial. When we played Charlton Athletic and Pierce scored off of that mistake by George Long, the win went out of our sails. I mean, we were a different team. We were a much worse team. Hull City are much better when we have the lead. Our defense can definitely hold on to leads. We've proven to do that, especially when our defense is healthy. There's been times when we've given up leads because our defense hasn't been healthy, but with Reece Burke back, Jordi Device back, and Callum Elder playing at his full potential, along with Matthew Pennington skating by, he hasn't been too great, but if he can skate by without too many mistakes, that defense is really good for a championship team. So if we get a 1-0 lead, I think we could go away from St. Andrews with 3 points, and we need that in this relegation fight. If we come away from St. Andrews with 3 points, we could potentially jump up to 17th in the table. Yeah, that's 5 slots. But right now, we just want to take any points we can away from St. Andrews, and scoring first can do that because it'll take pressure off of our attackers and allow our defense to play their game and hold a lead. However, scoring first is going to be tough and nearly impossible if Tom Eaves is up top at striker. That's why we need Josh Magennis up there, and we need Keane Lewis-Potter and James Scott coming on as strikers late or in the mid-second half. Another thing is John Terrell. John Terrell needs to put together a consistently good performance the entire time he's on the pitch, because against Charlton Athletic, the fact of the matter is, against Charlton Athletic, he put together 20 good minutes, but he didn't put together a whole game of good play. He was our best player for the first 20 minutes, but after that, he got shadowed by the Charlton Athletic midfielders, and he was non-existent, and that's a problem. If we're going to score goals, John Terrell has to provide service to our strikers, which is the only way we can score goals. If John Terrell provides good through balls to Malik Wilks, good through balls to Josh Bowler, and provides service to Josh Magennis and the other substitutes that may come on, we have a very realistic chance of coming away with 3 points. All right, in Birmingham City's last game, West Brom controlled 67% of possession against Birmingham City, and that's a lot of possession. In our game against Charlton Athletic last Saturday, we controlled 62% of the possession. So this bodes well for us. We can control possession against Birmingham City, but it should be noted that possession does not matter if we can't put the ball in the back of the net. That's the problem we had against Charlton Athletic. They had better chances, and they converted on those chances. That's why they won the game. We had the ball more, but we just didn't have any serious chances. We only had John Terrell's header and a strike outside of the box from John Terrell. Basically, those were our 2 serious chances, along with one with Honeyman. But we need the possession to translate into serious chances that we can convert. And that's the only way we're going to put the ball in the back of the net. But it's a good start to know we can control possession against Birmingham City. All right, for our formations, we're going to probably come out in the classic 4-2-3-1 that is Grant McCann's bread and butter. We're going to have George Long back, then Callum Elder at left back, Jordy Device and Reece Burke linking up as the center backs, and then Matthew Pennington at right back. After that, we'll have Leo de Silva Lopes, who I've talked about his contribution to the midfield, and Herbie Kane, who played decent against Charlton Athletic, but we need a better game out of him, and Leo de Silva Lopes. Bowler will be on the left alongside Malik Wilks on the right. A lot of people have been talking about James Scott, who made his debut last Saturday, but I don't believe he will get the start at left mid just because his first game with us was all right, but he still needs to know the players more, get the feel of how Hull City plays. So I think Josh Bowler, the loanee from Everton, will get the start. John Terrell in the middle, and then Josh Magennis up top is my hope and my dream. I hope Josh Magennis is up top. This formation gives us the best chance of scoring goals. Keen Lewis Potter can come on for Magennis late in the second half. And then I would like to see James Scott come on for Bowler early in the second half, because I said he shouldn't get the start because he hasn't been in the system long enough, but he should be brought on earlier and earlier in the second half. I'd also like to bring on Angus McDonald for Reece Burke, just because Reece Burke hasn't been in a real game in about 6 months, which is a long time, and Angus McDonald was in the game against Charlton, so he should be able to get in the flow, and that'll keep our defense in tip-top shape. Honeyman for Terrell in the 75th minute. I'd like to see Terrell play longer than he did last game, which was only 55 minutes. But I like Honeyman, and I think his substitution last game was fine, and I'd like to see him in this game. And then Kevin Stewart for Herbie Kane early in the second half. I've been adamant about my hope for Kevin Stewart in the starting 11, but I think Herbie Kane did enough last game to get the start, even though I'd prefer Kevin Stewart starting. But realistically, I think Herbie Kane will get the start, but I hope Kevin Stewart comes on early in the second half to provide Leo de Silva Lopes with some experience and provide service to John Terrell up top at the cam position. So those would be my substitutions. And then for Birmingham City, I see them coming out in a 4-4-2. Classic Lee Camp at goalkeeper, Wes Harding at left back, then Clark, Salter, and Dean at the center backs with Cullen at right back, and then Gardner and Jude Bellingham, the sensational midfielder, in the midfield, with Cliftonbald and Crawley on the wings, left mid and right mid, and then Scott Hogan and Jude Wetster, unique name, German, at the striker position. Wetster has the ability to score with 13 goals and in 38 appearances. alongside Scott Hogan, who's got 7 goals in 9 appearances. So we need to stifle them, and I'm convinced our defense can indeed stifle those 2 strikers. But back to wrap it up, the keys are Josh Magennis up top scoring a goal for us. No matter what he does, he'll be better than Tom Eaves, but we need a goal from him. Malik Wilks showing his great form and scoring a goal, maybe getting an assist, and giving Grant McCann and Hull City a boost to activate his loan-to-buy clause, which would be amazing for the club. And we need John Terrell to provide good service and the substitutes to make a difference, like Keane Lewis-Potter and James Scott. But it'll be an interesting match. So let me know in the comments if you want me to do a stream along of the Hull City versus Birmingham City game. And let me know in the comments if you want me to do any special videos. But with that all said, that is the match preview for Hull City versus Birmingham City. Go Tigers, and see you later, boys.